we have got a few special guests. We've got two of our school huddle coaches. We have one high school huddle coach. We've got one middle school huddle coach. And then we have a high school huddle leader as well as a middle school huddle leader. Guys, let me get y'all to come over on this side. Thank you. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to pass, we only have one mic. So I'm going to pass the mic down, have them introduce themselves, tell them what school they are from or what huddle they represent, and then we'll get into our questions.
Hey, I'm Amy Denson. I am the First Flight Middle School track coach, and I'm also a huddle leader for First Flight Middle School.
I'm Alivia Hatjun, and I go to Manteo Middle School.
My name is Schleiden. I'm a sophomore at First Flight High School.
My name is Natalie Murray. I'm a teacher and girls basketball coach at Camden High School.
All right, so we are going to start with our coach questions. So Natalie, I'm going to give the mic back to you. Can you please tell us how you originally became involved with FCA? How did you first hear about it?
So when I came to Camden High School 3 years ago, I stepped in to be an assistant coach with the previous FCA leader. And when he announced that he was leaving in the following year, there was really nobody stepping up to step into this role. And I knew it was something that was really important, that we needed to continue. And I just kind of felt the nudge to step into it. I didn't really know how we have, 3 children, coaching, how we would figure all of it out. But, God always makes a way, and it ended up being perfect.
Thank you for that. God always makes a way. We make plans and God laughs. That's all I have to say. Okay, so Amy, next question is for you. How has God encouraged you specifically as a coach through FCA?
So we have an FCA character coach on our team, Lori Williams, and she helps to recruit student leaders on our team so that we can create the kind of culture that we need on our team, essentially to bring the kingdom of God on our team. The kids don't quite know it until they get to the end of the season and they wonder why the team feels different from other teams, but those student leaders and Lori help us to shape our middle schoolers. As you know, middle schoolers are full of energy. We love them. They just love to belong, but they also have a lot of rough edges. They're just trying to figure out how to be people. So we spend a lot of time in the principal's office with kids doing the gospel, and then Lori will come behind and then continue conversations of transformation with those students so that they're seeing how God's grace and forgiveness plays out in a daily basis.
Perfect. All right, Amy, this next one's for you again. I know, back to back. All right. Have you seen the Lord move in or through your teams and or school?
Yes, so I'm involved. We have 2 huddles. So we have an FCA huddle on our track team, and then we also have an FCA huddle in the morning at First Flight Middle School on Thursday mornings. And in that huddle, we've had some of our high school student leaders like Noah come and speak. And these are student athletes who have been invested in at FCA Leadership Camp in the summer. Usually when they started on our track team, they went to leadership camp, and now they've come back. And they've been speaking as we've been, our goal this year has been to introduce every single student athlete at First Flight Middle School to Jesus. And so we invite them to come to FCA, and then we've had high school athletes like Noah come and speak about their experience with the Lord and really to set an example of what it looks like to live a life worthy of the calling to follow Jesus. So we've seen the investment that y'all have made in leadership camp has impacted students through the years.
Amazing, thank you. Natalie, next one's for you. What has been a highlight so far of your FCA involvement?
So we started this year a little bit different than how we did meetings previously. We meet every Friday morning at 7:30 in the morning. And the first surprise for me was how many high school kids are willing to get up and come to school early on a Friday morning. The first thing I would say, we've got 5 weeks left of school. I don't know if anybody else is a teacher, but think it's 5 weeks. We have about 5 weeks left, and I've yet to have a week where I have a student that has stepped up to lead us on Fridays. Usually maybe it's something in the Word, a devotion, a game maybe they've played in one of their leadership camps. I've yet to have a week where I don't, like right now, I have the next 2 weeks planned for kids that have volunteered to come up and give a message to their peers, which is awesome. One of the things about FCA that I really love is that it's student-led and the kids really getting involved. I'm really just there unlocking the classroom, making sure things are aligning with the Word, and they're doing an amazing job with that. And the second thing I would say is the first room that we started in, we have outgrown. And we are still growing, so we're now meeting in the media center. So more new faces are coming each week. Some are athletes, some are not. And it's just a very welcoming group of kids. So on top of that.
Thank you for that. And for those of you that don't know, FCA is student-led. So having Natalie say that there hasn't been a week where a student hasn't stepped up to lead, that's big right there. That's showing that these students are on fire for the Lord, and they're not only in it for the donuts, if you will, but they are there to get the snacks. They're there to get their other, their peers, their teammates, their friends, the person who sits by themselves at lunch on fire as well. Okay, Natalie, I'm coming back to you one more time. If there's a coach in this room or watching you on video, we're not live, but so they're not watching you on video right now. But they're debating whether or not to get involved with FCA. What is something that you would tell them? Why is it important for somebody to be involved?
So I would say that, as coaches, we are kind of in a unique position where our kids are looking to us for leadership. And it's a great opportunity for us to really show what living for Christ looks like. And I would say, when I started, I didn't even really know what it was going to look like. I didn't know how I was going to plan it. Are the kids going to even come? And I would say that it doesn't have to be perfect. You just have to have a willing heart and trust God to figure out the rest.
Amazing. Thank you. All right, Amy, last one is for you. Why would you tell someone it's important to financially contribute to FCA?
God's word never returns void. It always achieves the purpose for which it was sent. And if you're talking about return on investment, if you're going to have an investment that never returns void, I would want to invest in that. But just seeing the change from students like Noah, from other students who have gone and received leadership training, and now they are influencing others and leading others who are then becoming leaders. We're seeing just kind of generations of students going from middle school to high school who are impacting their schools, their teams, their friends, and their families. And you can't have a better investment opportunity than that.
Thank you, Amy. All right, guys, we're going to get to our student questions now. So we've got Liv, who is from Manteo Middle School. She is one of our core huddle leaders. And then we've got Noah, who is from First Flight, and he is one of the core huddle leaders there. Liv, we're going to start with you, okay? So how did you first learn about FCA, and what was your first experience?
I first learned about FCA in 6th grade. One of my friends who went before me started talking about it and then invited me. And when I first went, it was Miss Emily teaching about how to be a disciple and what to say and how to get your friends to do it. And we all met in the media center. People were just all with their friends, and it was just a very welcoming and safe space. It wasn't overwhelming. It wasn't feeling afraid. It just felt really nice, and it felt like I could just keep coming and never have to be afraid that I'm not going to be alone.
Thank you, Liv. Noah, next one's for you. How has God encouraged you specifically in your sport through FCA?
So I run track. I play football and basketball. In track, I pulled my IT band, and recently I pulled my hamstring. So I'll not run for a little bit, and then I'll hopefully be back eventually. But being at FCA has taught me to persevere through injuries and keep running, not just for me or my team, but for the Lord.
Thank you. All right, Noah, I'm coming back to you for the next one. How have you seen the Lord use FCA with your teams and or at school?
I'd say definitely my teams are like a lot happier, whether we win or lose, because we know that we aren't running for ourselves. Higher morale overall, and sometimes we do better, and that's good, and sometimes we don't, and that's okay too. I'm just happy.
FCA makes you happy. I love that. All right, Liv, this one's for you. What has been a highlight of your involvement in FCA so far?
There has been many, but one of them would probably be when we were meeting on Wednesday in the morning for FCA, and I was able to be on the panel and talk about my experiences and everything I've gone through with the Lord and how I've come to be so close to Him. And then also giving up one of my first Bibles that I've really gotten to be able to highlight and read and put in all my thoughts into. I gave it to someone who didn't have a Bible and who I felt led to give to.
I didn't know that. That's awesome, Liv. So one thing we do at Manteo Middle School, which we kind of stole from First Flight Middle School, was we do a student panel once a month. So we take 4 of our student leaders, and they answer questions very similar to this in front of 120 of their peers and classmates. And it's really kind of brought our FCA closer, and it's kind of made these leaders more human and been able to connect to their peers. So that's been awesome. Noah, next one's for you. If a fellow student or teammate was watching you and asked you why they should be involved, why they should get up early to attend FCA, why they should add this to their busy schedules, what would you tell them? Would you say that what would you say to persuade them and or their parents to come to FCA?
I would say it's 100% worth it, because the community and the friends you get are like very important. You obviously get to have a relationship with Jesus, which is most important. But I mean, if you don't care about either of those things, there's always free food. So.
Feed them and they will come. We're always looking for that free food donation for these huddles, by the way. All right, Liv, last one is for you. Share a meaningful verse or passage that God has used to lift you up this year.
Now, there has been many, but one of the ones I always keep in my heart and go back to is Psalms 27, verse 1. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is my strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid of? And I always just remember that, especially during things I'm afraid or I'm looking where I think I'm about to fail. I always just think about this verse, and it always helps me just remember that He is with me. Nothing will go wrong, and if it does, it's in His power and it's in His plan, and that He has planned for this to happen, and it will help me in many more ways than I can think of.
Thank you so much, guys. We appreciate you so much for getting up here and sharing a little bit with us. Thank you.